Showtime. Let's go. Yeah. We getting it going tonight, guys. We got a great guest on tonight. I'm super excited tonight. This is episode 2. Episode 2. Oh yeah. Notification gang going out right now, guys. I see you all coming in hot. Make sure you send this link to someone that just enjoys the content. All right. Right now, I see we have Shanna Ewing out there. See it moving up a little bit. Who else we got out there? Jason Ewing, we see you out there, man. Glenn Whistler. Yeah, we see you out there, my boy. Tech lover in the house, man. Gotta love Tech lover, man. Yep, he dropped some comments out there. We appreciate you. Let's see, Nathan White is in the house. Yes. All right, they coming in hot, Bob. They coming in hot. Hold on, wait a minute. Let's see, we got Big Easy 303 in the house, man. Yeah. Okay. Let's see, JST_hobbies. You already know what time it is, my guy. And your winnings are coming. They are on their way, bro. They are on their way. Marco Polo in the house, man. Stop playing with him. All right, and Glenn. I think I said Glenn. I can't remember. I'm getting old as hell. Glenn Whistler is in the damn house, guys. Woods just popped in, man. Knock, knock. There he is. Stop playing with him. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get this cranked up. I'm going to go ahead and pull my guest in. What's cracking, Marco? We see you out there, man. Appreciate you coming to the show. Tennessee Goddess is in the house. Yeah. Marco Polo Shanna, we see you. All right. I know, Glenn. Hey, Bob. Glenn said I repeat myself, man, all the time. I do. I be forgetting stuff right live, on live, and every damn thing. I ain't lying, man. Oh, man, he telling the truth. All right, y'all. I'm turning down the music. Let's get the guest in. Yeah. All right, man. It is showtime. Episode 2. Bam! We got Bob in the house.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
How you doing, Bob? Good, man. I'm glad to have you on the show tonight. I'm super geeked.
Thanks.
How you been feeling, Bob?
Oh,
I know
good.
you're tired. I know you're
I'm a little tired today. A little tired, yeah. I'm not my spunky self. So, but yeah, we'll have a good podcast here. It'll go good.
Did NRA like wear you out? Because it wore me out.
And then we were shipping guns like mad this week, and we've got all types of gun tubers we're working with. Plus, we had Trevin was sick half the week. He wasn't feeling good, so he was down and out. But it was a great week, man. I mean, it's always exciting. It's like I love what I do, and it's tiring sometimes, but that's all right. It's like I love it. I like working with you guys and that. When I met you at the NRA for the first time. And that was really great. And you were so enthusiastic and, understanding of products and that. So it was like, I was impressed with you and that, you're good people. We like to work with good people. So we're a family business too. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, I lit up like a Christmas tree. I say, you know what? You were on my list. And some of the other brands actually got kind of pissed at me because I forgot to go to the, to their booth. And I had them in my listing, but Bob, I was so excited because that was my first time going to like a SHOT Show type event. So I was super excited and I was kind of unorganized, but organized at the same time. So like now I really understand what it takes to really go through all the different booths, talk to the people who matter, and you were on my list. So I had you on my list. I had you on my list regardless. And Chad was like, man, we were about to go. And Chad was like, man, we still got to run over there to see Bob and them at Fusion. I was like, oh, you right. And so we had to literally, Bob, watch this. We had to literally get the map to find you on the map.
Nice. Yeah, yeah. Well, that, it's once you kind of get more accustomed to the shows. I mean, they're, I can imagine. I mean, I've been going to them for decades, but for a lot of people, I can imagine, they become overwhelming, because you get there and it's like there's so much to see. You got to kind of to really cover the bases you want to cover. You got to have a game plan, before you go. It's like, these are the people I want to talk to. These are the guys I'm going to hit, spend time with, and then all these, well, I'll walk by and look, but I kind of already know what this flashlight does, so I'm going to keep going.
Right, right.
So, and it is, and it's a lot of setup and preparation for all the manufacturers and that. It's expensive, man. I mean, it's just crazy expensive, and all those the buildings they have there. They're very tight union groups that run it, and like moving your crates in and move. I mean, it is insane. If one day I'll talk to you about the bills we get from this stuff, and you'll be like, "Oh my gosh, really? That cost you that?" And I'm like,
"What?"
Oh yeah, it's nuts, man.
When you say expensive, right? You're talking about them taxing the individual people, like the booths.
No, it's not a tax. It's. I mean, there's the fees.
Right. That's what I mean.
Well, listen, it's like this, One, you got to sign up for the show, and you got to. That's big, and then you got all the travel expenses and everything, hotel, food, all that. But then, okay, just for example, I mean, you were at our booth, okay. Now, how far was the back wall from our booth? Maybe
right,
50, 80 feet, maybe something like that, right?
Right.
Okay, for them to pick up our pallet of stuff and drive it from there, and we have wheels on it. We could have rolled it ourselves, but that's a no-no because it's all union, and you can't touch anything until they bring it to your area. And for them to take a fork truck, move it from that wall to our booth was $1,200.
What?
Yes, and with the tax, it was $1,370. I was like, and this is all the shows. I mean, the prices vary, but like the cheapest you get away with for moving a few things like that is like $800-900. Okay, it's insane, the costs in that. So the manufacturers themselves are putting a lot of effort and money up front. Plus we bring all the guys from the factory. Like you meet me, you meet Trevin, you meet Tyler, Mike, all the guys. Those are all guys that we work right with the products every day. And if you go to a lot of other manufacturers' booths, they will have some guys from the factory, maybe. Other ones, especially like SHOT Show, a lot of the bigger companies only bring their reps. The people in the factory, you might get one or two, that's it. And then, everybody else are reps or, people that, you can rent people for these shows, guys.
So do you feel like it was your money's worth though? Like based off all the clientele, right, Bob? Based off everybody that came to the show, do you feel like it was worth it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, all the shows this year, some of the shows, I've been there so many times. The NRA, I haven't. NRA, I've only been there twice, and this is the second time. Last year, we just sent Tyler, Trevin, and Mike, and then I came this year because I wanted experience again. I haven't been there since back in the Dan Wesson days. I mean, early Dan Wesson days, and it was a different type of thing, like the SHOT Show, and the NRA was basically about the same. But I mean, for us now, with all the new and exciting products we have, all the accessory items that are coming out for these pistols, all the follow-on products. I mean, it's like. It's not like the same thing again. You're not just going and seeing another, Glock 19 again, that you've seen everywhere for the last 20 years, So it's like all very fresh, new products, and it's just the excitement around our product line right now, and our booth.
It is on fire.
I mean, usually even at the SHOT Show, we usually can get some time to go out, walk around some more, and talk with all of our friends in the industry and business associates and that. And this year at the SHOT Show, I mean, I did get out a little bit, but I usually take a couple of walkthroughs the whole show. I didn't even get a chance to do that. I mean, our booth was just packed all the time, and
so Bob, that goes into saying somebody, Twin Biddy, this goes in conjunction with what you're saying. Sorry to cut you off. No. Twin Biddy said, not sure I'm familiar with Fusion Firearms. This sums it up right here.
Yeah, exactly.
And go ahead and tell them,
Yeah. And I mean, we're not really a new company. We've been around for 16 years. Okay. Yeah. And for, the first 10 years or so, I did nothing but custom builds. I was a custom 1911 builder and sold parts. We sold a lot of parts. Okay. We make a lot of parts. I've got friends from college that help me make parts and stuff like that. I still are friends with all these guys. They're like family to us. I used to go to their family farms and that when I went to school and, eat with their families. And now their kids are working with my kids, actually. It's crazy. And we're having grandchildren, both of us, and everything. And so it's amazing people you pick up through your years and how many stick around. I mean, think of like high school. How many kids do you know from high school left? It's like, you might see somebody on Facebook once in a while or something, but it isn't like, you're kind of working together still, and doing a lot of stuff, it's everybody kind of moves away and does their own separate thing. And it's a whole different mix. But yeah, we're about going on 17 years old. Obviously I've got a long standing in the industry. I worked at, Dan West. I was part owner of that for a while. Then CZ bought it because we needed to go into bigger hands to be able to expand the way it had to. And then I stayed on there as a consultant to CZ for a year. And then I moved on and did my own thing. But during that, I've been involved with Wilde Firearms. I've been involved with Remington Firearms. I've been involved with Smith & Wesson. I've been involved with a slew of companies out there, helping them with different development that was done there or co-development on products, and all those type of things. So STI, Dave Skinner, I used to go down and stay at his house, and work with those guys down there. So, I in my past, a lot of these names, maybe people will know or not. They're getting older. Most of them are dead now. I think, yeah. Mr. Nolan Sr., I used to work with him some. Mr. Clark Sr., they're both dead now, passed away. Chip McCormick, I used to work with him some.
Wow.
Projects, he's dead now. I'm still standing, So, it's a lot of them have passed away. So it's funny. Like I go to these shows, and there's a few vintage people left, and I'm one of them now. I'm the grandpa out there, and but we're having fun with it, man. I mean, we got a YouTube video coming out just on the NRA show, and it's kind of comical because we kind of did it like a vlog, and like when we're walking back and forth to the hotel, and when we were walking around the show and seeing some of the other vendors and stuff and just talking to them and then showing some of the historical value. Like, I've never seen half of that historical setups that were all the way down the other end that had, the whole history on the 1911 and like Winchester shotguns and rifles in the wartime, and there's all these different collectors groups that go to that show and set up so people can actually look at these things and talk about it. And, so it's informational for us too, because, I learned some stuff there,
right.
Going around. And it was phenomenal. Plus there's people we know that, because we work in industry from obviously like Streamlight and Holosun and a lot of these targeting systems and everything. And we go over and work with them and interview them. And, there's a good core group of people in the industry, and everybody tries to work together as best they can. I mean, it's pretty friendly, so, that unfortunately the firearms industry has been under attack for forever. You know, I mean,
it's still under attack. Yeah.
you know, and people don't understand that, like, your gun manufacturers are the only thing left holding it together, because, you know, and we take it, we're getting beat down all the time. I mean, like, I've been thrown off of Facebook. I mean, I'm back on there now with a different name, and
yep, that's how they do us, Bob.
Yeah, and it's like they're trying to tell me, "Oh, you were selling guns on that." I'm like, "No,
yep.
I'm posting where's I always say here, no sales, no."
TikTok did me the same way, Bob.
Yeah, and then they're do this stuff like, "Oh, you got a 72-day review, and we'll get back to you." Well, let me tell you, it's been like, I'm going on 8 months now.
Yep,
and no one's gotten back to me, and and there's nowhere to even like when they send me that notification all the time when I try to get back on, and they know your IP address too.
Yeah.
So you try to get back, you got to use a whole different computer to me. So they'll send you that, but there's no like link to click on it and say, "Hey, show me what you're talking about."
This is the deal, Bob. I don't think they want the content. They just they don't want us, and that's harsh to say, but they just don't want us on the platform. It's just like TikTok. You know, and no shade to my Chinese brothers and sisters and nothing like that. No shade ever. But their how can I say this? Their community and their government doesn't want them to have firearms in the midst, because they may just turn on their government, and they don't want that type of situation. So they're not fond of seeing guns and the Second Amendment and stuff like that. I mean, I was blowing up, Bob, on TikTok. And it was one of those situations where it was like they were doing me like they were doing you, giving me strikes for no reason.
Yeah. I mean, they would go down my timeline and say, like they would. I've been on Facebook probably since the day they started, right? And they would dig back. They dig back like 5 years and say, "You shared." It wasn't even my content. They're like, "You shared something," and I'm like, who looks back 5 years of my timeline, man?
Yeah.
They're just like trying to look to like.
They were trying to find something. Yeah.
And a lot of it, I get it about the country thing and that, but a lot of it is, I mean, they obviously have a very strong political bias.
Yes.
And that includes free speech, includes, there is no free speech on there. It's only speech they want you to hear, or they blackball you, you know, or they, even on Instagram. I mean, you know, we're growing now on Instagram, but it's like everybody I talk to has the same issue. You know, you're like shadow banned or something.
I fell back on Instagram, Bob. I really did. I don't post that much. And what I do is I use it like as a conduit. So I used to do a lot of videos. I stopped doing that. Whenever I feel like I have a pretty good video or something like that I want people to see, I just post a thumbnail and the link and tell them to come over to YouTube. That's all I do now with Instagram.
Yeah, well, YouTube's been better. I mean, they've gotten, you know, like a lot of people want us to do disassembly videos now, which we're going to do.
I do those on Rumble
there now, which they haven't bothered us about that on like 1911 stuff. But a lot of the gun tubers I've been talking about, they've been getting stuff thrown off, even if they're like field stripping and cleaning. And
Rumble is the place you want to be, Bob. Yeah,
well, Rumble, and let me tell you guys, everybody should look at this, triggerhill.com. It's new.
Okay.
It's called triggerhill.com, and I'm on it. I was on it. Well, I was a beta tester for it, okay? It is awesome. It works very similar to Instagram, and it works. I mean, it works great. And you can post videos, pictures, any type of content. You can put links to your store. You can do whatever you want. As long as you're legal, they don't care.
Okay.
And it's really focused for the outdoor people.
Okay.
It really is. And it's just, you know, H&K's on there, Smith, all the bigger companies are starting to get on there now. And okay, I know it's small now, but everybody's got to start somewhere, you know?
Right.
So, and I'm telling you, I've had no problems on there. The people are nice. The software works good. You know, it's like Rumble. I like Rumble, but one, you can't post pictures really, you know, unless you put it in a video type thing.
Yeah.
And then two, trying to find stuff on Rumble is like, oh my gosh. Sometimes it's, you know, and like, I don't like Facebook. Okay. But I'm going to tell you one, you know, but they got their act together, man. I mean, if you look at the way their software is, it freaking works.
See, Bob, I use Facebook for just family oriented stuff. And I don't, as far as for me, like on Facebook, Like I've had people before that may know that I do the YouTube thing and stuff like that. They'll come over to Facebook and send me a request, but I won't accept it because I
Mhm.
only use it, Bob, for family. That's
Family.
it. And nothing outside of that. Now, everything outside of that, you can reach me on Instagram. You can go to YouTube, drop a comment, and talk to me in that type of way. But I think Facebook is just good for family type stuff.
Yeah,
Now,
that's pretty much. Yeah.
some big business do well though on
Hmm.
Facebook.
Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, just not in our industry that much. I
Right,
mean,
exactly.
people have to realize out there that, like, as a member of the gun industry, Google won't take our ads.
Yep.
Facebook, all them type places won't take your ads. You can't
Yep.
advertise on those things.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's like, and then we're licensed, we're audited by the government, everything else, and it's like, really, guys? I mean, I know there's all types of scam trash on there every day. You can go on there and see it, but here I'm audited. I got a license to do what I'm doing. I mean, if you want to talk about verifying somebody, I mean, gun industry's it. So,
Right. You're right. You can easily see what's going on. If it's someone you just don't want to work with, then you know what you do, Bob. You vet them. You go to some of their social media platforms and see how they're conducting themselves. Look at them and see if you want to, have them be a part of what you're doing. Because I'm not gonna lie, I would love to stand up for the whole 2A community. I would love to do that, Bob. But it's some 2A the content out there to me that's garbage.
well, yeah,
And
I mean,
I just feel like
it is. Some of it's garbage, and some people,
yep.
they're not in it like you, where you're trying to, like, I don't want to say, like, they're being dishonest, but they're getting paid for what they're doing, so
Right.
they're not going to say certain shit. And it's
Yeah.
like, so I like guys like you, like, we don't pay any influencer. I mean,
Right.
and a lot of companies do, man. I'm telling you.
Oh,
I mean,
I know. I know.
And a lot of the big gun tubers, big ones, they're nuts. I mean, some of them want 50 grand.
Oh, I know.
To sparkle your seed everywhere, and it's like, I'm going to tell you, yeah. And
sparkle the seed.
Yeah, I'd rather give guns to 50 of you guys that'll go out there and do it right and try to grow with it and everything else. Then, I just don't feel right about it. I just don't feel right about that. So, and that's why, we have a lot of, like the younger gun tubers working with us, and we got, a lot of the ones that are vintage on there too.
Right.
We won't pay them. There's not one guy that we paid. No, I mean, we might give you a test gun or something like that, but we're not going to pay you,
Right.
But what we expect in turn is feedback. Okay. Cause we are very, as you could probably see from the NRA, we're very, we like to connect with our customers. I mean, if you go on YouTube and read the comments, it's me posting them, or answering comments, or it's Trevin, Tyler. I'm posting on Instagram every day. Trevin's posting on Instagram every day. Me and Trevin are doing the videos.
Yep.
We're all going to these shows, conversing with everybody that we can. And I'm not there trying to, like, swing you to do something for a free gun or something. I like, when you were there, what I do, I started asking you about, like, not you are going to get a gun, but what I was trying to get is, okay, what do you like? What do you dislike? What
do I represent?
Right. Exactly.
Seriously.
Because I can't build a better product and design better products or parts without other people, and I know everybody wants to think like one product's going to fit everybody in the universe. It don't. I don't care if it's a camera, a car, pair of shoes, whatever. One don't fit all. Okay. Right. It's, computers, my computer is different than, like, Trevin's computer, because he's got to do all this video crap. So he's got, like,
yeah.
When he turns his computer on, the lights dim, and stuff like that. It's just, so it's, and I tell you, Trevin, he's pretty techy. I
love Trev, man. I hope he gets better, man. I love that dude.
He's my son-in-law.
He is cool, man. Cool dude.
And and he builds his own computers there, because he'll want this processor, this. So, like, whatever. Okay, here you go. Go do it. But yeah, it's and that's how we learn a lot too, because, like the guy from Hunt Fish Shoot, he reviewed our gun in the beginning and he liked it, but he kept, he rides the slide stop. So he wasn't getting slide lock back. So we worked with him and I machined up a couple of prototypes, slide stops. We got him out to him.
Perfect.
And then he practiced with him and goes, Bob, this is excellent. He goes, this fixed the problem. And so now if you go on our website, that part's on there for people that buy if they have that, if they like riding it that way, or,
that was one of the questions that I had for you. You answered that perfect. Mm-hmm. So, okay. So as far as the slide stop, I was able to hold it and it really does work. And the way, if you're shooting with your thumbs forward, that's where you would have to have, is it the one that sits lower or the one that sits higher?
Well, the one that sits higher is the extended, and it's just extended a little bit so that, you don't have to really break your grip,
right,
to release the slide. And, even with the right hand, shooting right-handed, you can still reach it. So people like it that way. And, that's the way the standard gun goes out. But right, then for those people that want to ride up high and they, some of them they put their meat of their hand like right up against it, and that, that they were holding it down. So that
I'm gonna go ahead and show them. I'm gonna show them, Bob. Let's pull it up real quick because I want them to see it. A lot of my people on my channel, I got some
there. It's the first short right there is the low profile one.
Here it goes. Here it goes, guys.
So this is the low profile slide stop. It's available on our website. I think it's like $34.
Okay.
If you don't want the standard slide stop, that's the longer version.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I think this is going to be this one. I think it's going to be I had a blast, Bob. And especially if it mitigates recoil really good, I think it's going to be really awesome. This is nice, Trev. I like this one.
Thank you.
What are these colorways looking like right there?
So these are going to be custom options.
This will give you an idea of some of the guns, guys.
Most likely later in the year. This is an Amchar exclusive, so you will see this in select dealers in limited quantities.
That color?
The rose gold kind of bronze color.
That color looks good.
That's PVD coated. So
this
is the low profile slide stop.
So that's what it looks like, guys. You can go ahead, Bob.
Yep. Yeah. And that solved that issue. And again, before we introduced this pistol, we had, oh my gosh, even a guy who he actually lives in our county here. He's won the Bianchi Cup twice. Okay. Mm-hmm. And he shoots for, I think it's Atlas. I can't remember, but anyway, we go over and he's a real nice guy and he shoots the gun for us and he tests also. So we get him in a lot of different people's hands. We got a guy who does, the carry concealed weapons permits and training over here. And he's an older gentleman, but we give him, he takes them out of the shop, signs them in and out for practice and to check and test. And all of us, we probably had 50 to 70 people shooting it. And we went over there they had a military day where they brought the veterans in and did a veteran shoot. And we helped sponsor that. And guys shot it all day. And we didn't have any issues with that, because nobody was gripping like that, whether, real high with the meat of your hand up on the, I can understand. I get it. They're trying to do that to, keep recoil down, keep the front down, but we didn't see that. And then when that happened with the, guy from Hunt Shoot Fish, I was like, that's weird. I said, we haven't seen it happen at all. So, but again, if we don't work with guys like you and all these different people, everybody's got different size hands. Everybody's got different eyesight, So it's like the eyesight thing. One thing we wanted to do on all these guns is standard sights. So, on the XP, you got Novak rear and Novak front. So it's easy to change out. That way, you want green or you want fiber optic or you want red or you want whatever, tritium with orange dot. You can have it installed or we can do it for you, before the gun shipped. Rear sight is easy to change out. And then, we have the obviously the optics versions too, which we're working on more plates for that, for like the Acro and the Doctor and a couple things of that nature.
So is it coming, Bob, for when you speak plates, a lot of people, right, are waiting for these plates. So is this for the XF Pro and the XP Pro? Because to me, the XP Pro look like they're thin enough.
Yeah, well, the XP Pro has 2 plates already. It comes with it for the RMSC and the RMR. And then we're making some other plates for aftermarket sale that will be the Acro and it just depends and we're even redesigning one of the plates for the DDP. I'm working with Leopold right now because they're like some of their optics hang out over. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So even though it'll fit on the plate, it'll start interfering with the back of the slide where it might butt up, in the front, actually toward the ejection port because of that. So we're working on a new plate for that too, where we've actually set it back a little bit because instead of them being more flat in the front on the optic, they've got that big round section in the front kind of, and it's more of a radius. So, we're making accommodations for that too, but it's like, it's hard to try to, especially with optics. I mean, my gosh, there's so many different brands of optics.
It is
crazy. And, it might say, oh, this fits RMR footprint, but then they make the optic so it doesn't have clearance to get over the slide and it's hanging out the front of and it's like, okay, well, that's nice, but it doesn't fit on 90% of the RMR plates that are out there because it doesn't have enough clearance and it's still hitting, the slide somewhat, interfering there. So, we're learning all that from our customer base, which is phenomenal. They've been super good working with us and everything. And I think it's, a lot of it's because we're so open, we're so open the way we work with people. And, it's, like we had that ejection problem in the beginning. And
I heard about that, Bob.
Yeah, that was limited to like 100, 120 guns, but on the first run. And we figured it out. It was basically, the extractor was bumping the back of the barrel, so we had to add a little more clearance. And we added a compound angle on the front of the ejector so it would trip out the side. Fixed, done, But again, instead of trying to hide it or something, we did a video on it. You can go on our YouTube. It's like, man, this is the problem we've seen. It's isolated to about 100, 120 guns, and anybody that needs help, let us know. We'll take care of it. It's easy fix. It really is. So, that's one thing we're this whole platform, it's not like a lot of more of the higher tech guns that, unless it's something that is, very high end or it's out of most people's reach. There's not a lot of like cool accessories for the average guy just to take it, drop it in, or have a gunsmith do it for him, and it's easy to run with.
Right.
It's like that's why we're coming out with the ported barrels that are drop in. We're coming out with the new comp model that you've seen. We got more testing to do on that. Mm-hmm. That's going to be, we're still doing quite a bit of testing on that because there's a few changes I want to make. Also, we're playing around with the XP with inline ports too. So, and what's cool about all this is like, we are obviously in the manufacturing business. We've been doing it forever. I'm a journeyman tool maker by trade, and that's what I went to college for, tool making technology. I mean, I did that for 10 years for IBM, and I was an engineer there after a few years, after I got out of the apprentice, manufacturing engineer and mechanical engineer. And I worked on high-speed impact printers and that, not computers. But it's nice because we were working with like Tampa Gunworks, who specializes in porting. So we went up a couple of weekends ago and shot with Pedro.
Man, them things look good, Bob. Yeah. When I went out there and seen your ported barrels, and what is that called? The area towards the end of the barrel where you can kind of see it. You told me what it was. It fluted or something? Not fluted on the end of the barrel, but it was like on the other side. I've never seen nothing like that.
You mean a target crown? Target crown on the front?
No, and like in the back, it was like shimmery looking, like.
Oh yeah, no, that's the fluted. Yeah, man, and if you're going,
Dang, it's sick.
And that we're going to start bringing them in different colors too,
That's
like
sick.
that, manufacture them that way. Because right now we, it's only available in black, which the Tenifer and then QPQ over top. So we're going to be doing those, in the PVD, bronze, silver, some other ones. But yeah, that looks awesome. That's one of my favorites, with that. And we have those, Trevin be hopefully getting them up this week. We have those in stock now in black with the fluting in it.
That's sick.
I'll text you some pictures. It is friggin'.
You sent me pictures. I seen it.
Well, you see, but you didn't see the black ones, I don't think. But you've seen the silver one.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it was silver, and that didn't have any finish on it. So because these are carbon 4140, and then we heat treat, okay, and then we Tenifer, and then we QPQ over top. Those barrels are all proof house tested, mil spec. I mean, they're going to last a long time, those barrels. But yeah, I mean that we're going to make it in those other colors so you can get it in that silver. Because if we don't PVD it, it'll rust, because it won't have function on it, So we need to do that.
Twin Biddy, he said, Twin Biddy said 15Z, nice report back and let us know what you think. Curious for sure. He went in and said this too to you, Bob. He said, I just got my XP Pro. I put a TLR 7 and a Defender ST on it. I will get the range report. That is dope, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, man. I mean, email us at the factory or email me even, I'll give you guys my email or whatever. I love to hear, feedback. I mean, it's really cool because, that way we know that these different optics fit fine. They worked okay with you, stuff like that. So, we can't really make the product continually better just by using, we can do it manufacturing wise, but we have to understand customers' expectations. I think this is one of the biggest issues that a lot of companies miss. Okay. Because, you go to a lot of companies and you got a lot of the smaller companies who are really into it. And then you got other companies that it's a job, and it's they might've been making washing machines last week and now they're building cars. It's just a job. They don't care. They want to go home at 5 o'clock. It's that's the type of thing at a lot of companies, unfortunately, which, that's the way it is, but our heart and soul's into it,
Well, I can tell your design is the design. I'm going to tell you something. The design of the XP Pro is some extraterrestrial shit. I mean, when I say the look of it is magnificent, I'm not exaggerating that. It's a really good looking gun. And then for you to spin off and say, you know what? All right, we're going to put some competition in the game. You came out with the XF Pro. And it's once you put it in your hand and you feel how it feels, that quality, that weight, and then you shoot it and you see it's a different experience, y'all. I swear it's different. It's not like the half polymer, half metal guns. This is a full metal frame, right? Yeah. And when you're shooting it, it's the best way I can explain it is like a Cadillac. Literally, recoil is just not even hardly there. Feeling it's a very good experience.
And if you look at the pricing of that gun, there's people selling metal Glock frames for more money than our whole gun is.
Yep.
And you're getting Tenifer finish, or process. You get Tenifer process, then QPQ or the hard chrome, or the PVD for the bronze barrel one, and that. So yeah, I mean that gun. And we're coming out with a bunch of stuff for that gun too. That gun right now, we've got a lot on our plate for design right now. I got Tyler's running around doing programming and running CNCs, and me and him are working on the design development. He does all my CAD work for me, and then I do the engineering, and then I work with Tyler, and then we work with the guys at Ermox every day, and they're like family, man. They're terrific people. They're into it now. The biggest thing they lack, and that's is the design effort, and not so much. They got good designers over there. What it is the customer expectations,
right?
They don't understand the marketplace. They don't understand because they're not, even if they're at these shows, a lot of it's kind of foreign to them. So
Yeah.
they like, you know, they'll look at stuff that I'll say, listen, we want to do this as an accessory. This is an accessory. We're going to need you to do this. We'll design it. I need you to do this. And I put a work schedule every week down for them. And it's like 4 pages long on Excel. And it has all the product groups, you know, pistol, XP, XF, new stuff, you know, some other things we got in development, you know, marketing, everything, all down on this thing. Every week they get that list, and every week they schedule the factory around our work order. And the development guys that we work with is, you know, a couple of guys they have over there, which are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Really good on the CAD, really good on the CNCs. And, you know, they're smart people. So, yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, we have a passion for what we're doing. Our family's into it, you know, and we take it to heart. So, I mean,
this I can tell big time. Jova Q just dropped something for you, Bob.
Yep.
And we call him Jova Q, the scientist. This guy really is really into firearms. He really loves everything about it. He said, are they going to start selling double stack frames?
okay, well, yeah, we have some 2011 frames right now that we run through the custom shop. Okay. The frames that we will first start coming out with eventually, okay, it can't be right now because we got a lot on our plate right now, but we are going to be actually selling, you know, like the XP Pro frame, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have other slides we're already developing that are like, you can go on the Fusion website and you can pick a 1911 slide, and then you can go to the drop down boxes and you can say, okay, I want these cocking serrations on it. I want this sight cut put on it. I want this done to it. And we're going to have those same offerings for the XP Pro parts coming up.
Okay.
So we'll stock bald slides, and which, you know, just won't have any of the external machining on it. And then you can go down the drop down box, select those things, select a finish that you want, whatever, and we'll configure that for you and ship that slide to you. Or you can buy the blank slide and do it yourself, you know. So we're going to be having all those things, just like the grips. We've got other textures of grips coming out. You know, some people, a lot, again, it's very personal to grip. It's like some guys want real aggressive grip.
Yeah.
Then the next guy wants a smoother grip.
Yep.
Yeah,
You're just laying out the options,
right?
Basically, for people to get now.
Exactly. And so we're going to have a few different grips, as you've seen the G10 grips that we had there.
Did. Yep.
Those will be coming out. We're going to have some other textures in those, plus on the aluminum, there'll be some other textures for those. But then we have also the laser cut grip tape that I think you've seen it when you were there.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, you didn't see that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it comes in kits. So there is, you know, there's wraparound from the front. There's a piece for the back. There's actually even a piece for the frame that you can put up there if you like that. And they come in like a stippled rubber texture, 2 different rubber textures, and like I think 3 sand textures. And those are done. And they just finished them for us for the XF. Okay, so those are coming out too. I'll be putting pictures on Instagram and all that this week on the XF for that too. But no, we're going to be having. You know, this has become this whole platform is got a whole life to itself. Okay. So, I mean, as you see what has happened with like the 2011, you're going to see us doing very similar things to the XP Pro, where there's a bunch more slide stops coming out. There's more thumb safeties coming out. There's competition controls coming out. There's gas pedals coming out. Some of this you're going to start seeing real soon. There's the mag extensions. Okay.
Oh yeah, I saw those.
Yeah, those are cool.
So,
and those go on any Glock mag. So
man, them things look great.
Yeah, and they're thinner, so you don't have to worry about like the big bulky. They're nice and long. They add 5 shots, and you don't have to worry about like interfering with your mag well or any of that type of stuff. And they're designed real well. I mean, they're easy to grab. They got that texture on the front. You'll see pictures of that too. I'll text you some pictures and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I love to work personally with all these guys, and it's like, like you how many presidents of a company you got their number to text them?
Right. Right. Directly. Right.
And like all the guys that influencers I work with, either me or Trevin work with them, and they all got Trevin's number. Most of them have my number, most of them. And, and Trevin works with some of them on his own. And then I get involved with a lot of others that have podcasts like yours or want more heavily technical, or they want me to get into the guts of the thing or anything. So, yeah, I mean, that's the tariffs. A little bit. Yeah. The tariffs are going to affect us. It's going to affect us. I hate to say it,
Wow.
And, that's a sore topic, but I love Trump. I love what he's doing, but I'm telling you right now, the tariff thing, they got to fix that. I mean, it's just like, everybody's trying to say like, well, Mr. Chinaman, he's going to pay for this. No, he's not. Okay. If you import anything, guess who the bill goes to?
Yeah.
You.
I had some, but that's basically true because I deal with a lot of brands on the side, and I've been running into an issue where they get a lot of their stuff manufactured from China, and at the current moment, a lot of them saying, "Hey, right now we have you on the list, but we just can't get them in right now due to the tariff prices." And I'm like, "Dang!"
Yeah,
so some of the stuff has been coming through.
Yeah, doubling, tripling prices. I mean, you're looking at actually my wife was showing me something. There was the one girl that was from Shark Tank or something, and she got a small business where she imports stuff, sells on Amazon like millions of other people do. And she goes, "Yeah, my freight and taxes used to be I think it was 120 grand, and now it's 170,000 more."
Oh, dang.
So how the hell does a small business absorb all that?
Stuff is
switch. It's very difficult. So
it's crazy. Nathan dropped something. He said, "Got a question. Do you all have any plans on making PCC or rifles?"
Well, some. The rotary that you've seen at the NRA, that was that rotary shotgun. I don't know if I showed you that. That's like
I didn't see that.
Yeah. We're still on for fourth quarter. Yes, we are. That'll be there for the comp. The rotary is really a cool gun, and we're going to be developing that even more. It's expensive because the machining in it is unbelievable, and there's nothing like it on earth. But it is 410 over 410 or 410 over 308.
Nice.
So it's really cool. And I want to develop it into also like 22 Hornet over 410, and it basically, you just take it, you turn it, and it breaks apart like a side by side almost, but it's a rotary. You turn it and it breaks apart instead of a lever and breaking it apart. So it's very nice. Got a nice classic English stock on it. It's a beautiful piece of mechanical art. So yeah, we will be working on that more, but you're probably again looking into next year, because this year we're packed with the pistols, the aftermarket items.
It's a lot coming in.
And our next big thing is the XF. I want to start doing the same thing. Building a product group off the XF, and we're working on a bunch of stuff with that right now. Like Johnny Glock's working on a new trigger kit, a cartridge style trigger kit for that. The trigger in it is already better than anything like Glock has out of the box and that.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's still a striker fired trigger, and if you're used to a 1911, there's a big difference there. There's a big difference. So. It's got a nice wall. It shoots, and some guys love it. Like, my one buddy that works with us there, John. He's an ex-airborne. He retired 23 years airborne. Then he was a state cop for another 17 years or something. And he likes the XF because he's so shooting a Glock.
I like the XF trigger.
Well, that, and like you were saying about the metal frame, but the other thing, the undercut on the back of the XF is just awesome. I mean, it's like, like you pick up a Glock, it's blocky, it doesn't point natural. It doesn't really sight natural. I mean, it's a great gun, they run, but it's like, man, it's you got to really work with it to be able to.
Hey, you got to upgrade certain parts. I mean, it's really that simple, Bob. I'll say it if you want, because just like the trigger, when you look at the trigger housing, the safety mechanism inside the trigger is very uncomfortable. Where to the index finger, meaty part of your finger, it just is. So, like when I get Glocks, one of the first things I do is change the trigger out. Is it terrible? No, but it could be a lot better. And I'm gonna tell you something. I think that's one of the main reasons why right now, and I spoke to them while I was at NRA, and the video is coming out for them too, guys. But why they're discontinuing a lot of their different models that they have, some of them that weren't selling too well. And I just think they know now that they have so much competition, Bob, out there, they have to change something up. You feel me?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them do. You know, the other thing though is if you look at Fusion and how fast we respond to the marketplace with, you know, aftermarket parts and everything else that we're developing alongside our, you know, the customer base and the gun tubers and everything helping us out. You know, bigger companies are a little bit more sluggish of getting that stuff through. You know, like guy at Hunt, Fish, Shoot, for example. Again, I mean, he had to issue a slide stop. Well, I was on the mill the next day making him a couple. You know, and then we sent him out to him. You know, black ox items, sent him out to him so he could try them. You know, if you had to get that done in a bigger company, you got to go through the management. You got to see if they want to approve it. Do they want to take production time away from it? Do they want to do that? It's you know, there's a lot to it, and it's more politics to it. I mean, I have time, like when I work for IBM, I'm like, dude, I could have these parts done by the time you guys screw around, you know, with the paperwork and everything. So, you know, it's stuff like that the big corporate structures, you know, they get bogged down in some of that. Plus, you know, they're developing a product that has to respond not just to the marketplace, but their stockholders.
Right. Tech Lover dropped something. He said, when are you reviewing the XP Pro, Ivan? It's coming. It is coming. I already spoke to Bob. It's on its way, guys. So it's coming.
We'll get one of those.
Let's see. JoviQ dropped something. He said, nice looking at building a DS 1911 using your frame as a base. Interesting.
Yep. Yeah. And that's you know, that's why we want to make sure we can have all these parts available for folks, you know, the frames, the blank slides and those type of items. And in that way we can, you know, people can more customize it, like the vault, like all those different colors and things that you see. And I'll be texting you some pictures here over the next week or two, but we've got, you know, some special things going on with the vault, which is our custom shop area. And we're going to start doing limited runs of certain products just for the vault sales. And because we've like all those colors that you've seen, the favorites are the gold, that blue tiger with the stripes.
Man, yes.
Yeah. Everybody loves that gold. So it's not going to be big volumes, but we're going to make some certain things like that. We're looking at actually some special presentation cases.
Speaking of that was one of my questions. Where would they go to order some of those colors? Because those colors were magnificent, like that purple and tiger stripe you showed me. Man, people were texting me and emailing me after I dropped that video. They was like, bro, where I can get one. I didn't know what to tell them. So, like, where would they be able to get these different colors? Because they're really wanting them.
Well, you want to sign up for our newsletter, okay? And we're going to be putting that out, and you know, on that plus YouTube's and everything else. We'll explain what we're doing when those come available. But we can only run so many colors at a time because it's pretty, you know, like that one with the purple with the stripes on it and stuff. And that's all PVD, man. And it's like that. You know, that's Tenaford, and then it's 2 strikes of PVD to get those colors that way. You gotta do the gold underneath that looks like the lightning bolts on it almost.
Yeah.
And then you mask that, and then you got a PVD over top, but again, the blue.
So the price initially is going to be a little higher for that color.
Yeah. You're going to be looking at, you know, $150, $200 more or something for the colors and stuff, but you're not going to be able to get it anywhere else. I mean, if you look at, you know, now I'm not saying we don't Cerakote. we only Cerakote if it's something like camouflage, the shotguns and, some of the pistols we've had people, and you'll be seeing some of these come out. I'm working with a couple of guys here. They're doing some Cerakote work for us because people have asked for like that battle worn look or the camouflage look. So we're doing samples in the XF and the XP right now, and we'll be putting those out over the next couple of weeks. And that will be an option for people to select those things again on the drop down boxes, and we can have it all done for you. That way you can have the sights installed and everything the way you want it. We have the finish put on. But from the factory, we like the PVD, okay, because the PVD lasts so much longer. Nitro carb, well, obviously Tariffs is like one of your best rust protective finishes for firearms, plus it heat treats. And PVD, awesome. Okay, nitro carbrizing, which is a quench polish process that we do on the black, and then all the other colors are all PVD.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean it's a pretty it's a process that is harder to do, and it's not as stable when you do PVD.
Okay,
because it's in a vacuum chamber. Cleanliness is has to be optimal, all that type of stuff. So, I mean, and then a lot of times the way you get those colors, some of it is using different substrates for the material that gets the particles, it basically is a cloud of particles that attaches to everything. Other of them are use the same substrate material, but you time it a different tank. And that's what gives you those blue, sometimes you see PVD and you got that blue. Yep. And then the next time you leave it in a little bit more, guess what? You get gray. And then that you get black, so it's like, it's the same substrate, but it's very process dependent, how long it stays in and that. So, and then the hard chrome that we have, if you like silver finishes, matte silver finishes like that are a nice looking finish, you can't beat hard chrome. I mean, you got 72 Rockwell. I mean, wear resistant is awesome. Rust protection, everything is just awesome about hard chrome. The only thing is hard chrome builds up on the edges a little bit. So sometimes the hard chrome guns may need a little bit more break-in because,
the racking between the slide and the lower frame, it can cause issues and issues.
Especially in the 9mm because it's, the 9 doesn't always have, depending on the loads you're using, that's why we have all the different recoil springs because, you can shoot. I mean, you've shot enough, you shoot some like cheap promotional rounds or loaded ammo and it's not very hot. And then you shoot the next round, it's good and hot. Well, you got to remember, some of the, you'll have somebody that say, well, I'm not getting an extraction. Well, it's because the gun's not cycling. It's not coming back.
Yep.
You need a lighter spring, or maybe you need a heavier spring, So it's like, that's like the 1911, it's the same spring platform as that. It's just slightly different in the 4-inch version versus, basically Commanders, depending on manufacturers, a 4-inch to a 4 1/4. So it's all right around the same. And, generally, that's why we stock springs anywhere from, like 9 pounds all the way up to like 22 pounds, because a guy that's shooting a 10mm needs something different than a guy that's, got soft loads because he just wants to sit there and shoot bullseye,
right.
He needs a lighter one, or his gun's not going to cycle as good. Just, it doesn't, I mean, you're trying to move a lot of steel there with a little cartridge on a 9, 45 usually will just blow it back anyway, but you want a heavier spring then, so you're not damaging your frame or, any of that nature. So, all those things you got to take into consideration. And I've been building these things for forever. I mean, I've been doing this for over 4 years. So,
that's sweet. That's super sweet. JT Allen, he said, we want the XP Pro comp. I'm gonna just go ahead and put now in the end.
Yeah, I know everybody does.
Hey, look, Mr. Wiggins said so. Buy now.
Well, I think they're talking pre-orders. People can start pre-ordering. I think they're looking at June or July. So keep start watching the newsletter and everything. And this is going to be a fun project because I'm working on some like all the parts we don't make in Turkey. Some of them we make here, guys. Okay, it's like we work with a lot of my own vendors and people here that we make some of the stuff here. Springs are one of them. So because we have a very good relationship with our spring vendor. And so when I have new products coming out, I go over there and I work right with them. Okay. And we sit down and I show them what we're doing. We do, and then they'll make us sample springs of whether they're regular springs, variable springs. I mean, there's all types of things they can do to a spring with different heat treats and everything. And then I'll bring them back, test them. We do all types of testing for, feed, function, lockback, all those type of things. Then we'll finalize the springs and come out with maybe, a set of 4 or so that run right around that same weight. Like for the 9mm, the 7, 8, 9, 10, and like 12 are the most popular. Once in a while, you might want a 13, but most time 10. I usually almost can get everything to run good with a 10 for the most part. So
interesting. Okay, Wiggins said, do they offer DLC?
Well, yeah, that DLC is PVD coating. That's what all those colors are.
Okay. Nathan dropped something. He said, oh, that blue Tiger pistol, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, everybody wants those. We're really trying to refine the process on the finishing. The pistols, we can build them all day long. That finishing, it's tough. And
man, that's gonna sell like I can guarantee this. Soon as you bring those out, they're gonna sell probably in 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna eat those up.
That's like the ported barrels. I know the ported barrels like for the XP that we came out with. They do work well. I mean, if you watch the videos we do with Pedro up at Tampa Gunworks when we tested, he did a phenomenal job. Like he did an XF with the inline porting. Oh my gosh, because I'm not a big striker fire guy. I'll just tell you, I mean, I'll shoot them, but I love the 1911, 2011 type platform. So the XP Pro is like right in my wheelhouse where I love it. And mission statement, well, I'll write you one, okay? I used to have them back at IBM. Then after everybody had meetings and wrote one, they stuck it on the wall and no one ever looked at it again for another year or two until the next committee meeting or something. But yeah, I have one somewhere. I wrote one a couple of years ago, but if you go to a website, you might see it. Actually, my bio is on the website.
I'm about to pull that up right now. JST Hobbies _1 said, what separates Fusion from others? What's your mission statement? Interesting.
Yeah, well, that's the mission statement I'm talking about. Well, I'll post it. I mean, I can think right here.
You want me to pull it up, Bob?
Well, no, I mean, right. Yeah, go ahead. But I mean, I'm right here with you. It's like I'm here working with the public.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I've been doing like the regular Gun Guy show. I'm going to be on that. We're going to his shoot up there in Atlanta, Georgia. I go to most of the public events, me and my guys right from the factory. Like I said, it's one of the bigger companies. And what was it? SHOT Show. What was it? Might have been right before COVID or right after COVID. I can't remember. Anyway, well, I'm at the SHOT Show and Tyler wanted to go over to one of the guys' booths and see a product. So Tyler goes up to this guy that's working at this booth, and it's a big company, okay? And and Tyler goes, hey, can you give me some information on this product and stuff? I'm kind of interested in it, and it was a revolver. And the kid goes to Tyler, he goes, man, I'd like to, but 2 weeks ago I was working at Abercrombie and Finch, man, and I was selling blue jeans. He goes, and that's what I'm trying to say. So many of these places are not connected to the public. They don't. Most of them don't shoot. A lot of them don't shoot. Okay, and a lot of them are, maybe in years past, generations past, had a real desire for the product and to develop more things and to grow more things. And then it becomes just business. I mean, you can probably see that with all types of companies,
right.
Where there's mostly electronics, a lot of it, after a while, there's no heart and soul left in the product anymore. It's just another lick and stick, box, and that's the way a lot of the big businesses feel about stuff. And that's one thing I learned when I had a gun shop up in upstate New York, when I was younger. And I worked at IBM, and I had a gun shop. I used to do it at night and do gunsmithing at night, machining and everything. Yeah, I'm a workaholic. It's just crazy. But I remember I had a good friend at Jerry Sports Center, Dave Lewis, and that was one of the biggest distributors on the East Coast for firearms and that. And Dave was a super good guy, was into it. He liked to hunt. He's more on the hunting side, not really target shooting and that much, but super good guy. And I worked with him since high school because I worked at a gun shop when I was in high school in northern New Jersey. And that's where I grew up on my uncle's farm there. And, it's funny that, I worked with him somewhat on and off when I worked at that gun shop. And now I worked with him, afterwards when I owned my own gun shop, and the craziest thing, even when I had that gun shop, Bill Hicks, I don't know if anybody deals with Bill Hicks Distributing in Minnesota. They, Matt Techner, he used to be my salesman when I was, and this is before Tyler was even born, man. He used to be my salesman. Now he runs the whole purchasing and everything at Bill Hicks Distributing. But one thing Dave Lewis told me, which shocked me, because I was younger and stuff like that, and I said, Dave, it doesn't seem like a lot of these people have, the management here don't have the passion for these products really. And he goes, Bob, we don't sell guns. I'm like, yeah, you do. The whole warehouse is full of them, because you used to be able to go down there and take it to the rest. He goes, no, Bob. He goes, we sell boxes of shit that go out the door. And he goes, you got to learn that we don't care what's in that box. We just want it to go out the door. Okay. He goes, and that's our instructions as salespeople. And that's, and what's hard on smaller businesses like us, okay, is a lot of the bigger companies have allocation contracts with a lot of distributors. Okay. So they'll be calling all their gun shops they work with, and geez, you got to buy XYZ product. We're running a sale this week on it, and we want you to buy whatever. If you buy 10, you get this one, or you get that or something. And they'll be like, well, why are they doing that? Well, it's because they got a contract. And guess what? If they don't sell that stuff by the end of May, in the beginning of June, you got another tractor trailer coming in with the same stuff on it. So it's a cash flow thing with a lot of those guys.
Wow.
So you gotta, it's like I said, it's a different passion. We go out there. I work on the bench. I own the company. Okay. And I work on the bench every day with my guys. I work on the bench when even with Ermox, it's like the guys over there. We flew to Germany for 2 years and worked with them at their booth. And I'll send you some pictures of their booth. It's got Fusion all plastered all over it.
Yeah.
It's and we actually meet some of the gun tubers come over there to Iwa in Germany, and we meet and talk with them over there too. But we hustle when we're over there with those guys. We've got a big expansion going on right now at the Ermox factory, like almost doubling the size of the plant right now.
Yeah, because it's growing so damn fast. And y'all are listen. I'm telling you, man, like. I've been hearing about, I'll kid you not, this is no exaggeration. I have not really seen nothing like this from where it's a company that, and I'm not trying to be funny, but it's a company that many haven't heard of come out of no damn where. Yeah. Literally. Yeah. And like you said, you've been around for a very long time, but a lot of people didn't know. Now it's just like, I had a couple of guys, I go to all these gun places. And I talk to the guys. I talk about the type of guns that they like. A lot of times they let me get footage in these places. And I had one of my homeboys. I'll let you know who he is. His name is Ben. He comes through. He's been on the channel before too. And he said, bro, and I'm not going to say where he works at, but he was like, bro, I just got that damn XP Pro in you were talking about. He's like, I didn't know what it was. He was like, I got it in. I was able to hold it. He said, I fucking love it, Bob. Bob. He said, I love it. And this is coming from a guy that has lots of firearms. So, and that's just one story. Like, it's so many people now really holding the gun, feeling the gun. My first time holding the XP Pro P as in Paul was when I went out to your event. And when I held that gun, I said, man, this thing is nice. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, you could charge so much more. And I'm not saying do it, but you can charge so much more for the firearm because of the quality of the firearm, because of the customer service that you have with your people, like with your clients and stuff like that. When they get in touch with you, how you can fix things, send it back in, get it taken care of. The response time is fast. Like, people care about that kind of stuff. And I think what a lot of people now are looking for are like wholesome type businesses. That's why when me and Chad left, Chad was like, Ivan, I really like those guys. He was like, out of all the people, and we visited a lot of places, Bob. He was like, with all the people that we visited, he was like, I really liked Fusion Firearms. He said, I'm getting one from him just because of that. Because he stands on business when it comes to that kind of stuff. And that tells you something about a company a lot of times. Like, and I'm not trying to throw any shade on any business, but look what's happening to SIG right now. SIG makes, to me, they make great firearms. They got in a situation to where one of their P320s, went through that situation where, whether it happened or if it didn't, it doesn't matter now because it's spreading like wildfire. Like, it's spreading like a fire, man. And even people who are uneducated, watch this, people who are uneducated about firearms tend to believe the rhetoric. And even if it's not rhetoric, they'll just believe it, Bob. They'll believe what they hear. So it's one of those situations where SIG is not responding right now, but I think they should respond, because if they don't, with the way social media is now, they just might crash their company.
Well,
and I'm being honest about that.
Right, and that's something, and that's not just the firearms industry. I mean, you look at the firearms industry, and again, most of it's big corporate. And why? Because if somebody steps out of line, they get fired. So you got to have all that crap approved, everything else. Oh, should I say this? Should I not say this? What should I do? What should I not do? Yeah. So, you got people who, they're trying to feed their family and pay their, car payment. And, they're worried about, geez, if I say something about this, I'm going to get fired. I mean, look at Remington with the 700 trigger that was going on and stuff like that. But again, it's like when we had that ejection problem. What did I do?
I made a video. On it. Yep. Made a video.
If you need help with this is the way we're going to fix it for you.
And you fixed it.
I mean, we're just open about what we do. And, if there's a problem, we fix it. It's like, right now, I mean, in most industries, service sucks. I mean, I can't, I don't like bring my car in to get fixed or anything anymore. Unless you know the guy, you feel like you're getting raped. I mean, you really do.
It's true.
I mean, it's like, you bring it in for one thing and they start telling you, well, you're going to need $1,600 of other service. I'm like, for what?
Right.
I mean, it's like everything's a sales job anymore, and
people are detached, Bob, they're detached. And they, we're, like I said before, we're at a stage now where a lot of these businesses have to be very careful, because it's one of those situations where it didn't used to be like this when internet wasn't around. Word of mouth just didn't travel that fast because we didn't have the capability and the equipment to do so. But now we have the internet, we have cell phones, we have tablets. Shit, you can say something in your glasses now and respond back on the internet. So it's a situation now where, just like you said, if it's a problem, it's best for you to address the problem now. And find a solution to what the problem is. Listen to the customers, listen to them, get them taken care of if you can, and stand on business. Raging Cajun 1 just dropped something, Bob. He said, I want one. Are they built to handle 9mm plus P?
All day long.
There you go. He said he needs holster too.
Again, that you're going to want one of those spring kits depending on the load you have and how it's going to operate. And it's real simple. Some people are like, well, I don't know what to put in here. Well, obviously, if you got too heavy of a spring, the gun's not going to go back to lockback. So it's not gonna, the slide's not coming back and forth all the way. Mm-hmm. You're not getting complete cycling. Or the injection is just dribbling out or something like that. So then you go to the lighter spring. So generally you can keep trying them and then ratchet back. But generally you're going to, even for plus Ps, I'd be running 10, 11 pounds, something like that. That's fine.
Okay, Raging Cajun, I think he's about to get one, Bob. He said, I also will need a good holster. How could he get one?
Well, there's all types of holsters available. We have them on our website. We're right now working with Tactical with a bunch of holsters inside the waistband, outside the waistband. We are working with QVO on a bunch of different ones, Black Scorpion. We've got not just those, we got the competition rigs coming out. And we started with Black Scorpion. We're going to be working on another company here shortly, also for holsters that are like for the police and duty holsters, because I never thought we were going to get a big police following. And it's
will that be like the level retention holsters?
Yeah. If you need like a level 1 or level 2 holster or something else designed. I mean, some people, it depends on their job. It's going to be a hip holster. Other guys are going to want like a breast holster, something to go across their chest. Depending on what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? So we got a bunch of things coming out for the XF and the XP with that, and they're already out. A bunch of them are already out. You can see them on our website. You can see them on Black Scorpion's website, QVO holsters. I have one of those too, and it's a gorgeous holster. They do a lot of videos. They came around to the SHOT Show and see us. They did one of the first reviews on our guns, and they have I forget the guy's name right now, but he shoots with the guys at QVO, and he's like the 5th top speed shooter in the world right now. Mm-hmm. And he came over to our booth and he loved it, the gun and that. So those guys are really super to work with, and they're on our gun tube team, tech team, if you want to call it. They end up doing a lot of that type of stuff. So
okay, Joe BQ said, are they going to SOF week?
So which one's that? Is that Soldier Fortune? Soldier Fortune, right?
I guess so.
Nah, probably not.
I guess that.
I've been there once, man, and I don't know. It was cool, but it's like we'll be going to Gun Con. We'll be going to
GOA. I'll see you out there.
Yeah, we'll be at Gun Con. And we go to almost all like the NRA and all that type of stuff. So. Bigger distributor shows, some of the distributor shows that they have at the Coliseums and that, like you've got to be a dealer to get in, but then sometimes the last day they open it up to the public. So anybody can come in and, look around, talk with people, see the wares and do that type of stuff. So,
okay. Joe VQ said SOF week in Tampa. G23 dropped something. He said, G23 said, what'd you say, Bob?
I said, I'll have to look that up. I didn't know they were going to be in Tampa.
Yeah, I need to look that up too, because I didn't know anything about that. Thanks, you. I appreciate
it. Somebody in the beginning here said something about like Arms Directory. And he's one of the guys that follows because I seen his picture pop up. He's on our YouTube too. But that Arms Directory, I got to look at that because when I mentioned triggerhill.com, he mentioned that also, which I didn't know that was out there, but I'll look at it.
That's why I love my family here, man. My family, they drop them jewels out there in the comments. I swear, Bob. G23 said it comes down to you want to sell a lot for a lower price or sell for a higher price. Most people aren't going to spend $1,500 or more on a single firearm. IMHO. I agree, brother.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that we've always tried now, the compensated model is going to be more expensive. It just is because there's a lot more machining and everything else involved with it. Also, the compensated model, right as of yet, it's not threaded. Mm-hmm. So, states that don't allow threaded barrels, you'll still be able to use this thing. So, our deal is, I mean, even though we were a custom shop, you know, we you know, I've built $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 guns. But most of the meat and potatoes was 1,200 to 2,200. You know, I mean, and we try to give a lot of value into what we're building, because, you know, we're family people too, you know. And I know you come home with a, you know, whatever, you know, a new pistol that's a nice target pistol, but it costs you $5,000. Your wife's going to kill you. You know?
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, you better hide that baby. So
That is a fact, man.
Yep.
Right here, what I'm gonna do, Bob, we're gonna go ahead and start to close out. I want to respect your time. I'm gonna pull up real quick the one of your 1911s. I want them to see that blue one. I think you showed didn't you show me that one when we were out there?
Yeah,
I think you did. So I'm gonna pull that one up real quick, and then I'm gonna show them your website for those that may not know. So here we go, right here, guys. All right, guys, we are out here at Fusion Firearms.
That's Trevin right there,
with
guys.
me right now. We're gonna check out some new technology and see what it's all about. New firearms, also.
All right. So here we got the XF
I'm
Pro.
gonna go to the where the blue one
you've
is
already
at.
reviewed.
I did.
With this model, we have some more stuff coming.
All right, here it is, guys. I had to skip
Durable
that.
coating.
Got it.
Compared to the other options on the market.
Okay,
So
let me check that out. This one is nice. Man,
yeah, you'll probably see
that's
that.
the gold one. That
Either
mother
at
nasty
select
right
dealers
there. I
or
love
just on
it.
our website at some point, hopefully later this year.
It's nice, beautiful. All right, and looks like you got some different colorways over here too.
Yep. Yeah. This one we got to figure out because this is actually PVD coated.
Okay.
So here I'll grab this.
This is the one we were talking
it
about,
comes out
guys.
beautiful. The biggest
Right
thing
here.
is when you're doing two different colors of PVD, it can be hard to get similar results every time. So we're working on this. You'll probably see these again sometime
Man, that thing's
later
sexy,
this
Bob.
year.
Golly.
We pretty much got the kinks worked out. With the PVD coating, it's not as simple as Cerakote because it's not a paint product. This actually goes in a vacuum chamber. We pretty much, on all the colors that you see here, it's either QPQ, Tinifer, hard chrome, or PVD.
Got it.
We don't really do, at least not at this moment. We might do Cerakote in the future.
Do you think that's more durable than the Cerakote?
100% is
Okay.
more durable.
Okay.
Definitely more durable. All of our finishes that we have, even if we do decide to Cerakote, you will have the black finish underneath, which is like on this XF.
Okay.
It'll still be the Tinifer and QPQ coating, and then we'll Cerakote over the top just to give you that extra rust preventative.
Okay.
Because Cerakote, it's good for looks, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's like it's a very durable coating.
Got it. That thing froze on me.
Compared to the other options on the market.
Okay.
So
Let me check that out. This one is
Man,
nice.
sexy.
Man, that's nice.
Yeah.
Kind of like
right above your head's that rotary.
You can come see.
Yes,
Has
there.
bull barrel also.
Look at that, y'all. Golly. Man. Man.
That's beautiful, man. Golly. Okay. Anything else coming for the future, Trev? Where do I set this?
All right, so I wanted you guys to see that. You just had to see that. And now I'm going to go ahead real quick to Fusion Firearms just so you can check out their YouTube channel. And make sure you stop by and subscribe, guys. It's worth it, trust me. So that way you sign up for notifications, you'll always get updated because he said he's going to recently drop a video coming out. Anything you want me to look at here, Bob?
Yeah, like the first video there he just put up about 2 weeks ago. That one there is another update. So that like we get the same question over and over and over again sometimes. So what we're doing is these updates on the ported barrels, on all the different accessory items coming out. And then people give us feedback, on the questions from that. And we gather that also for new stuff coming up and everything. So we'll be doing that here. Plus you go on our regular website, fusionfirearms.com, and that'll also hold, sign up for the newsletter because you'll be getting all those notifications coming out in the newsletter, specials, the parts that are starting to be developed and all those things. So you'll be in on all that. Now, one thing I wanted to clarify here, one of the guy who wrote about DLC, Okay. Now DLC and PVD are exactly the same. Okay. So DLC is that's called diamond like coating, that's what that is. Okay. And what that is there is a company that has trademarked DLC. Okay. That's out there, Ion Bond. Okay. So Ion Bond trademark DLC. That's why we call it diamond like finish. But it's PVD. That's what PVD is DLC. The DLC is their black, and they call it diamond like because it's tungsten, and tungsten is very hard. The only thing harder on earth is diamond. Okay. But you also got to remember PVD finish is very thin. I mean, it's like 0.2 of a thousandth. So very thin. So, versus, like that hard chrome that was just flashing up on there, that there is 5 times thicker than DLC. Okay. So those are things you got to keep in mind.
We had 100.
Go ahead.
The PVD and everything, that's like the same coating they use on Watchtower and, a lot of the real high-end guns. So.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I was going to show them while you were talking, the gun that you were referring to right here, which is, let's see, you start to pick it up around right there. So
here's where Pedro, he did online ports on this too. That's our new ported barrel, and it works pretty efficient. Like here, Trevin's shooting it right now. I mean, it's amazing how much flatter it shoots. But the XF Pedro put inline on the XF, and we have those barrels available now too on our website this week. And yep, 9x25 Dillon, 10 millimeter, 9x25 probably won't come into the picture. We do that in 1911 barrels. We might, but we are looking at some other calibers for this platform as we move forward. So yeah, we are working on that also. You're gonna see a lot of cool stuff coming up on these things, and it's just gonna keep growing. So, but yeah, that and Tenifer coating is. Somebody have a question on that, or?
Yeah, I don't know if Joviq was just saying Tenifer coating or if he didn't put a question mark in behind it.
Well, Tenifer is basically it's a process. It's really not a coating, and it's basically like a step above nitro carburizing. Nitro carburizing goes into a tank and you're generally around like 800 and some degrees. But Tenifer is at like, it's crazy. It's like, I'd have to look it up again, but I think it's like 11 or 1200 Celsius. I mean, it's freaking hot. Okay. It comes out of there like molten lava. All right. And yeah, a lot of the old Glocks had Tenifer on them. Like if you ever see people say, well, I want, one of the older Glocks from Austria or something like that. And most of the time it's because it has the Tenifer process done to it. Everybody used to call it a finish with Glock, which it's and that's why you'll get people. There's some even gun tubers that'll be like, oh, it's not really a finish. I know it's like, but everybody considers it part of the finishing process. Okay, so that's why we call it. That's why even though you do Tenifer over top, you're going to do QPQ, you're going to do PVD, which is DLC, or you're going to do Chrome. Or Cerakote or something, what I'm saying? So you pick your flavor after that, but the Tenifer is a base, not just to give it great rust protection, but also heat treats into the material too. So, you're getting, 38 Superman. I'd love to do that. You know what? That's Tyler's big thing. He wants to do 38 Super so bad in this, but okay. And it's a possibility. Our biggest holdback right now on 38 Super is magazines. Magazines. Why? The 9mm has a shorter wheelbase in the magazine than the 38 Super. So if you can buy a 1911 magazine, if you buy a 9mm, you'll look down inside the magazine, you're going to see there's a strip of material in the back of the magazine, which is like a buffer. Okay. Pushes that cartridge up a little bit into the magazine. All right. To hold it in place so it's not bouncing around inside the magazine like this. Well, 38 Super is the same mag as a 9mm, but it's removed. That plate, that spacer plate in the back of the magazine's removed, so you have enough room to get in the 38 Super cartridge. Now, will the gun hold up to a 38 Super? Yes, most definitely. There's no problem with that. Problem is, we got to develop a magazine like the 10mm and 45, because there's already Glock magazines out there for it. They're a little bit easier for us to step into and get that going. But we're right now building some pretty good relationships with some magazine companies.
Oh, good.
So I think there's a possibility there. There really is. So.
Okay. Jova Q dropped something. He said at ITT 45/70 or nothing. All right.
Yeah,
G23. He said 30 G23 said 38 Super shall rule the world. LOL. All the 38 Super mags are in Mexico.
Well, yeah, I've never, if somebody could show me a Glock 38 Super Mag, I'd love to see one. Because I know 380 Auto. We have a Mexican distributor that's we're working with him right now on producing a 380 Auto because they can't have 9mm there.
Okay.
So, that type of thing. So it's they have to have it very popular in Mexico is the 380 Auto, because any military cartridge they're not allowed to own down there. I guess, from what I heard, it was years ago they made this law because people were ripping off ammo from the military and all types of other crap. But anyway, they can own other calibers, but they can't own anything that the military uses or police. So.
I see. Okay. And then I have one last question here for you, Bob. Is there anything new coming? Because your last one was the XF Pro, if I'm not mistaken. Is it anything next in line that we should be waiting for?
To be honest, for the XF, I am still thinking about a lot of stuff. And that's why I'm going to welcome guys like you and everybody else that's shooting them to give me feedback. We'd like to add like a mag well to it. We might change the bottom of the frame a little bit. We're looking at a compact version. There's all types of stuff like that for the XF. So the XP, the comp's next. A lot of people are wanting a 5-inch that will probably come along now. The comp version, which is cool, going to be not just the comp, but we're making it with a solid monoblock on the end too. Mm-hmm. Because we had a lot of people ask for that for certain optic classes for IDPA in that, because they can't run comps, I guess, in certain types of the disciplines. So they want us to do that.
Okay. Jova Q dropped some. He said many countries have similar restrictions on ownership of law enforcement / military.
He's right. Yeah. Oh, and that's one thing I like. 40 Smith & Wesson is going to be when the 10mm comes out. The 40 Smith & Wesson will be following right behind it. So that's going to be fine. But again, anybody's got suggestions on the XF, because I'm going to be in a kind of we've done a lot to the XF. Slides changed, barrels changed,
a whole lot.
Trigger groups getting changed, grips. We're making all types of new texture grips, grip tape. I mean, all types of things are going around. But my dream for the XF is what's going to be the next generation of the XF. Mm-hmm. And I need that feedback again from all of you to Bob, what do you want in the XF? That type of thing. And I really want that type of feedback, because I'm going to be building development structures for going into next year for the XF. So that's going to be a big deal, a real big deal. And the law enforcement that he brought up, that was the thing I was talking about with the holsters. We're getting a lot of law enforcement agencies, and it's amazing. They want the XP. I mean, we already have them in Houston SWAT is practicing with some of them right now.
Oh, dang.
We just sent one to Napa Valley, California, and it's us and Staccato in the race for that. It's crazy. We got some big sheriff's department in Tennessee that's testing them right now. It's got 300 guys on it. So there's like, it's one thing that we didn't anticipate, because I've always been in the target games and, civilian market, that type of thing. And now we're starting to get people looking at this because they're like, wow, one, it uses Glock mags, which, every police department out there, military's got truckloads of Glock mags, and it's built extremely well, all bar stock, no MIM, finishes. You can't, like the tenant for finish guys, you can't get that in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
It's illegal. The DEC made it illegal like 2013 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And you can't have that done. And it was the greatest gun finish out there. But the salt bath is illegal because of the fumes or something in the United States. And Europe, it's still allowed. And they still do that on a lot of their military weapons and everything. So, that's Magwell would be great. I know that's one thing. But when we go to a Magwell, guys, on that, it's one thing, I want to do we change the frame so it doesn't have that one cut on it? We just make it straight across. So it has a Magwell that's easy to put on, just like the XP. I mean, the XP's Magwell is really easy to take on and off. So if you want to carry the XP, we send an extra pin with the XP, shorter pin, and you just push the Magwell forward, drop it down, put the shorter pin in, and off you go. It's already got a rounded butt and everything underneath. So you don't have sharp forks sticking you, and nothing. I mean, so, and this is cool. So like any of this stuff that you guys are coming up with, man, throw it over on our YouTube, send us an email through customer service or send it to me. It's rserva, RSERVA @outlook.com. And you can see it all over the internet. And
that's sweet.
And it's even today, I was on the phone with two different people that they're not gun tubers. They're just regular guys that test for us. I mean, one guy, he had an issue with even getting his gun apart one time. We helped, he couldn't put it back together right. And so he sent it in. I helped him out with all that stuff, got him rolling. And he's such a nice guy, and he works in a quality control aspect and engineering for a big company. Okay. And he loves to shoot. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give him a chance. So now he's on our roster. I all of our new parts and things like that are coming out, I send him some of them. Hey, how do you like this? Because I want to get feedback from somebody that now he knows how to assemble the gun, right? And everything. He's learning, everybody's learning. But he really likes to shoot. He's a good shooter. And it's feedback like that from, if you only get your feedback from all the Bianchi Cup winners, okay, that's great. But guess what? The average guy, one can't afford a $5,000, $7,000, $12,000 gun. Okay. And a lot of those things that they use in that type of sport, even though they're great shooters, they're excellent at what they do, but it doesn't have the application for the regular man that wants an all-purpose recreational gun. I want to go out and shoot some IDPA. I want to have fun, and I want to use it for a defense gun, maybe carry it sometimes.
Yep.
So, and I want to be able to afford it, so, none of these things are cheap, but if you look at the value we put into everything, it's like there's nothing else on the market that compares. Mm-hmm. Nothing. And we're proud of that, and we want to try to keep that price on everything as attractive as possible. So, and obviously with some of the more upgrades and stuff, it's higher cost because it's more to manufacture. But again, and we'll be, like he's saying, offer a la carte slides and stuff. All that stuff's in the works for the XP and the XF coming up. So more and more of that will be coming.
Nice. Well, man, I appreciate you so much today, Bob.
Yeah, we'll do this again, man. It's fun. I really enjoy it.
Outstanding. Outstanding. I really, you answered. I had questions, and you literally answered all my questions. Man, this was perfect, man. This really was. It was great. And I really appreciate everybody coming out today, too. To drop comments in the comment section, rock out with us and find out who these guys are, man, because I'm telling you right now, you're going to see more of them. And I don't think Bob is stopping no time soon.
No.
He's gonna keep going, guys. And again, you will see more of the content on my channel. I will have more reviews on the channel. Me and Bob have been talking on the back end to get things over to the channel where I can review them and show you guys and talk about it and stuff like that. Because you had a lot of questions for the XF. They had a lot of questions for the XF because they're really trying to figure out, is this something that I want? Is this something that's really going to help me in a self-defense situation? You know, or just some people just like to go out to the range and slam some lead down range, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the XF, like I said, it's a great gun the way it is, especially for the all metal frame. When Pedro did that inline porting, it was amazing. I mean, it shot so flat, and I the first shot I took with it, I couldn't believe it. There's like that snap that you kind of get with a 9mm. It's gone. I mean, it's like, and it feels so natural. It's almost like kind of like a wave feel than a recoil feel.
That's exactly, that's something like when we shot at me and Chad was like, wow, man. He was like, this is different. Is it true that you have ported barrels for the XF2?
Oh yeah. I'll send you a picture.
Oh man.
Maybe tonight. It's how late I stay up.
Dang, that's crazy. I mean,
they're spiral fluted, ported, and there's it actually fits the XF opening on the top perfectly. And so it's an inline port, and it starts with a bigger slot, smaller slot, and it keeps getting a little smaller as it goes forward that taper on the top of the XF goes. So it's pretty cool. It's a beautiful made barrel. So I'll send you some pictures of that too. So you got it. I'll be posting that up this week. Also on, like I said, Instagram and all those places and that. So, but yeah, I mean, we're trying to make a lot of stuff that's drop in, you know, it's even like the XP ported barrels.
It makes it easy.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be sending you one of them, and it's like, it does work great. Just like that video you showed, but is it as good as inline porting? No. But guess what? It didn't cost you $500 to have it done. And inline porting, you know, it's like a lot of the guys who are really into it, the competition shooters or guys that just love that. Yeah, they'll do it. They'll do that and spend the money for it and that, which is fun, you know, great. And that's why, you know, people like Skip's Guns, he does a bunch. He's done a bunch of them, and he's done testing. He did his 4 Portsman, he calls it. And you can watch Skip and on Skip Guns videos. He's really good, super good guy to work with. And he's got Ron. I think his video channel is the Life of Ron, I think it is. And that guy can shoot. Oh my gosh, he is amazing the way he can shoot. Both of them are great shots, but Ron is just like, you see him shoot. It's like a natural extension of his body. Wow. I mean, that man pulls that gun out and just starts flaring steel, and it's like, it's like a thoroughbred man with a friggin' pistol, you know. I mean, it's like he just knows how to do it, and he's Ron's a kind of a special guy, you know, not just in the military or anything, but he trains different military divisions and stuff like that. He does a lot of like on the side training for different things, so he's very much in the know, and he's very knowledgeable. And same with Skip. Skip knows these guns inside and out. You know, great gunsmith. You know, we work with him all the time on stuff, and super, super good people to work with. So, but awesome. You know, the average guy that wants to just buy a barrel and put it in, and well, yeah, maybe on the inline you might get whatever 20% more, 25% more. I don't know, you know, but okay, the average dude that just wants one and wants to just drop a barrel in, this is for him. You know, it does definitely cut down on recoil, definitely helps out, and it's easy. You know, it's basically drop in, lick and stick, let it roll. You know, it's you don't have to have it machined and refinished or any of that
extra stuff. Yeah. And that's what people like. I think they like just the fact that it is easy, you know, and to coincide with that is modularity, you know, being able to take a little freaking fire control unit out of this and put it in something else and create something else. Like people like that Lego type life now. That's just the age that we live in. And the customization is a unique, watch this, it's a unique footprint for each individual person. I just created a, what is it, Bob? I just created a Glock 17 clone from the ground up. I'm
Yep.
talking about internals of the slide, internals of the lower. Like I literally did the whole thing this time and it came out beautiful. And what's beautiful about it is nobody on the internet has one like it.
Yeah,
Nobody.
yeah, it's yours. You know, you made that combination up.
Exactly.
I mean, that's similar to what we're trying to do with the vault too, for people that don't want to tinker with it, that they can go on there and say, man, I want this gold finish and I want grip black and I want, you know, I want whatever the tritium sights installed before it comes and everything. And then, you know, we finish it in the custom shop here at Fusion and out it goes to them. You know, we test it and everything. I mean, we send cartridges with it and everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the stuff going out of the vault that I build custom will start coming with a letter with it. It'll start coming with a target shot with it. And like I said, we even got a bunch of the new packaging for the vault type stuff that's going to be like, you know, presentation boxes, custom stuff. Because we get a lot of people from police departments and fire departments and everything, military. We had one military unit that bought like 75 1911s from us, but they wanted a helicopter on one side and their unit on the other side and where they were. And, you know, so a lot of people like something like that, you know, as a memorabilium or something, you know, or something to, you know, pass on to your family and that. And, you know, so yeah, that's going to be a section and a part of what we're doing too.
No, that's perfect, man. Again, Bob, I want to thank you so much for coming over to the channel. Episode 3, we'll give it some time, let some things roll out. We'll get you guys back on the channel, but it's on and popping from here. I really, really appreciate you. I'm going to go ahead and we like to go ahead and close out with one of my homeboys here. His name is Squirt. So we play his music and turn it up a little bit, you know, Bob. We try to turn it up a little bit and close out here. But again, Bob, I really appreciate it. Everybody out there in the comment section, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all, man. Drop a like and a comment in the comment section. Again, make sure you go over to Fusion Firearms. Plug in with them, man. Plug in with the main website. Plug in with the YouTube. I dropped a link for the YouTube. Bob, go ahead. Tell them again your main website.
FusionFirearms.com. So
that's it, guys. We'll see you guys later. See you next Sunday.
Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. Bob, hang on for me. I'm going to click them off the line. Y'all take care. That was fun.
Yeah, I love doing these, man.